Hello. We have the pleasure to welcome the legendary Grandmaster Vassily Ivanchuk. It's a big honor to have him as a presenter in modern chess. And today we will start discussing one very interesting system against the Caro-Kann defense, the so-called fantasy variation that you can see on the board. The starting position arises after e4, c6, d4, d5, and now f3. So this is the starting position of the fantasy variation, and in this video series we are going to cover the most important historical developments of this variation. You will know all the typical ideas and plans. Also, you will know how to face each one of Black's major responses, and hopefully you will be ready to play this variation with White. So, Vassily, welcome, and please, you can make some introduction about the fantasy variation on yourself, how this line attracted your attention, what is the general idea, and so on.
Okay, first of all, about name, fantasy variation. Just today I was really surprised. I opened Yugoslavian Encyclopedia, volume B3, and this book was edited in 1997, and I was curious what they write about F3 variation. So I found in the page 93 only one line. So that's all here.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So if encyclopedia gives only one line to such variation, so it's very good name, fantasy variation, because it means that very big space for fantasies. If we can compare, for example, with position knight c3, d takes e4, knight takes e4, bishop f5. So in encyclopedias there are much more place about this. Okay, so f3 line, it's quite ambitious line, and also important to know that some positions from fantasy variation can appear from other openings. For example, after e4, g6, d4, bishop g7, knight c3, c6. It's quite popular variation. For example, we can remember game Fischer-Petrosyan, now f4, d5, e5, one of the most principal lines. But okay, if White wants, totally possible to play bishop e3. And after d5, f3, and we have one of critical position of fantasy variation.
Yes, yes.
Of course, Black has no obligation to play d5. d6 is possible as well, but okay, d6 it's another type of position where White has many options you can put in the board. So after knight c3, d6,
d4, bishop g7, knight c3,
knight c3, c6, bishop e3.
Yes, now d6.
Okay.
Yes.
So, okay, after d6, White has many options. For example, h3, it's possible, or queen d2 is possible. Okay, but this is totally different topic, Pierce defense, and this is not what I am planning to consider today, but, well, we can understand this.
So, if you can briefly describe what is the major strategic idea behind the fantasy variation?
Okay, so it's easy to describe because there is no strategical idea. So White is fighting for the center. at the moment, if you see pawn structure without any dynamics, so okay, it looks like white is more stronger in the centrum and than black. But okay, now black has choice, and pawn structure can change very quickly.
Yeah,
in video today, so we have plan. We agreed.
Yeah, today
that in video today we will mainly consider option D takes E4, F takes E4, E5, and tomorrow we will consider other options. So other options for black after F3 are. They have big choice. So G6 is possible.
G6, Queen B6,
Queen B6, E5 gambit line,
and also
E5
approach with E6.
Yes, E6, yes, E6, Queen B6, E5, or Knight D7. Also, Bareev tried against Nippon Meshi.
Yes.
So it's black has choice, but for today we will be mainly focused after D takes E4, F takes E4, E5.
Yeah, quite a principal variation. Black is immediately fighting for the center and tries to challenge white's entire concept. So it makes perfect sense to start with this variation.
And okay, so now obviously the best move for white, or even not the best move, just only reasonable move for white is Knight F3. But I was surprised to hear explanation of Ryazantsev. So he explained that D takes E5 instead Knight F3. It's not good for white because after Queen takes D1, King takes D1, Bishop E6, black has excellent play against white double pawns. And why this explanation so excellent? Because it's very thematic idea. So in many variation of fantasy variation, black using idea to give white extra pawn and then can fight against them in the end game or in the middle game. But okay, so only a small detail I can add that after D takes E5, much stronger Queen H4, by the way, and black is almost winning. But okay, Queen H4, it's surprisingly it's not so important, but for a general explanation, because Queen takes D1, Ryazantsev illustrated a very important idea. So Queen H4, it's okay, just in
but this
just in this position. So, for example, I will show you another moment where black can use same idea. I mean, after F3, if black plays G6, there is interesting line. Knight C3, Bishop G7, Bishop E3. We have seen already this position from move order with first move G6, and now D takes E5. D takes E4, sorry, F takes E4, E5, D takes E5, Queen takes D1 check, Rook takes D1, and now if take on E5, Knight F3, white has strong initiative. So better for black to play Bishop E6 now, Knight F3, Knight D7, and we have a position from the game between Leon Hoyos and Vladimir Burmakin. So Vladimir Burmakin is quite a good expert of Caro-Kann, so he utilized this idea, and now black has good compensation for the pawn as well. So this is another. So this idea is quite typical for black. I want to explain.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's come back to position after Knight F3. So Knight F3, what we have. So white defended against Queen H4 check and attacking pawn, but okay, attacking it's not so obvious because after D takes E5, black always have compensation. Knight takes e5 at the moment not possible because queen a4 check. So at the moment pawn e5 it's not really attacked, but okay, what to do? So we can consider e takes d4. Firstly, it's not the best move, and according to Mega Database, I checked this. There are almost no games from strong players with e takes d4. I mean, with black.
Yes.
So usually black.
Here we have prepared some model games, and you just can tell which one to examine.
Okay, it was something. I don't remember exactly. I remember it was some game of Timofeyev, but okay, you can check and find. So Pinkusberg probably was e takes d4 or what. I don't remember exactly what is named with e takes d4, but surely I send you one example. Maybe Pinkusberg, right? No. It's bishop e6. So maybe okay. It was maybe Marozi.
Yeah, this is the game of Marozi.
Yes, Marozi. So e takes d4, bishop c4. So black has many moves. So okay, in some books was explained variation bishop b4 check. It's bad move, of course. And after c3, it's there is threat. D takes c3, bishop takes f7, and after king e7, white can just take on d8 and take on c3 with obvious advantage, but probably queen b3 it's even stronger to play with queens against black king in center. And also important that after bishop takes f7, black cannot take the bishop, the queen takes d8, c takes b2 check, king e2, b takes a1 queen. So black has a big material advantage, but unfortunately for them, after knight g5,
it's going to be mated.
Yes, king g6, queen e8, it will be made in few moves. So yeah. Okay, it's a well-known trap, but okay, so there are different level of spectators, so I want to show this. So bishop b4 is a bad move, so queen e7 was played, knight f6 was played. So white plan is very simple, to play castle and then knight e5 or knight g5, so attack f7 square, like in many open positions. But sometimes it's possible to play positionally. For example, knight f6 if black plays.
Knight f6 here, okay.
Yes, knight f6 castle. Knight g5, it's a little bit premature in my opinion, although it looks tempting as well, but bishop e6 is possible, and now if knight takes e6, f takes e6, the problem for white that e5 not possible because queen a5 check.
Yeah, this is
so castle necessary to play firstly, but after castle black can play e5, and this is not so clear. Obviously white has compensation, so but much more easy to play like demonstrated Artem Timofeyev, quite a good expert of this line with white. So he played the castle instead, knight g5. And after knight bd7, okay, so not so easy to defend with black, because now knight g5 or knight e5 is real threat. And for example, if to play bishop e7, if black wants just develop pieces, knight g5 is coming, castle. So white can just take on f7, knight takes, rook takes, bishop takes, king takes, e5, and in this position, white is much better. So knight bd7 looks like idea, because because now knight g5, knight e5, it's totally acceptable for black. But e5, so played Timofeyev, knight d5, it's only a reasonable move. Again, if knight g5, black can take on e5, and this is not so clear. And now Timofeyev starts to play positional. So he took on d5, simply. C takes d5, knight b d2, bishop e7, knight b3, castle, knight takes d4, knight c5, bishop e3. This type of position is slightly better for white. It's nothing critical for black, but more pleasant to play with white.
Stable advantage for white, very easy to play. Yeah.
Yes.
A nice position.
So this is quite a good example. Other moves for black after bishop c4, okay, there is not total equality as well.
Yeah, in general, it seems that, these lines for black, it's very difficult to neutralize the pressure on f7, and the fact that he is underdeveloped causes big problems. And even over the board, it's very easy to find the best moves for whites.
Yes, very direct play. So this is the problem. Okay, so because of this, usually strong players don't play e takes d4, and there are two main moves. So bishop e6 and bishop g4. So, for example, bishop e6, idea is obvious. So black just not allow bishop c4 and takes the pawn, as I explained it, not good for white. With knight because queen h4 check, with pawn because queen takes d1 and knight d7. Also knight d7 immediately is possible as well. So black has pleasant choice.
Yes.
Okay, so after bishop e6, the most popular move now for white is c3. Okay, there are other moves we will consider surely. So after c3, now black has choices. There are two moves which it's logical to consider: knight d7 or knight f6. Firstly, both is possible because. Okay, I don't know how important this, because usually after a few moves we will have same position. So, for example, knight d7.
Okay, we start with knight d7 then.
Knight d7, bishop d3, the main move. Okay, probably it's possible to consider other plots for white. For example, what was idea of knight f6? I mean, instead of knight d7.
So here knight f6, you mean?
Yes, what was idea? So idea was to force white to play bishop d3, because knight takes e5, knight takes e4, okay, maybe possible, but looks like acceptable for black. So, but okay, so it's we can look at knight e5, knight e4, queen takes f3. Probably it's not so clear. And now, okay, so what to do? Okay, knight f6, for example, is possible. Bishop d3. So this position, at least I didn't see games of strong players here. Okay, maybe also possible to consider bishop d5 instead of knight f6.
Yeah.
Yes, bishop d5, because c4 now looks like wrong, because bishop b4 check, and this is obviously dangerous for white. But okay, after bishop d5, very logical to consider bishop c4. and game is quite interesting. So probably knight takes e5 and queen f3. It's not so stupid, but I have never seen this position in practice of strong players. So what is and I didn't analyze deeply, but okay, it looks logical to check this.
So knight f6, probably the game might continue with something like bishop d3, bishop e7.
Yes, yes, castle, and bishop f4, something like this, and then knight bd2. And okay, maybe we can consider, we can try to consider something else. I have another idea. For example, after queen f3.
Okay, queen f3, yes.
Queen f3. Now I am thinking, is it possible queen h4 check? After g3, queen e7.
Ah, that's interesting, yeah.
Yes, and
but just a
queen
second.
takes e4, yes,
Yeah,
and queen f5. No, yes, queen g4 or queen f5, and idea queen c8. So this idea doesn't work. So knight e5, knight e4, queen f3. So okay, we can also knight d6 probably possible.
Yeah, it's also a possible option.
Yes, knight d6, and but okay, so bishop d3 and knight d7 probably. Idea to exchange knight as soon as possible. So probably now knight takes e5, bishop takes e5, knight c4, something like this. Yeah. Okay, but black has two bishops, but okay, it's again not so clear. So bishop takes c4, bishop takes c4, knight d2. White has some advantage on development. Okay, so please wait 2 minutes. So okay. I will come back. So I am here. So this it's possible to analyze more deeply. I can just repeat that I have never seen knight takes e5 line in. And also important that after knight takes e5, if black plays bishop d6, for example, it's quite standard idea, but here probably not so convincing because queen f3 it's possible. And if bishop takes e5, d takes e5, knight g4, for example, queen g3, and all is protected. White has extra pawn and two bishops. Also, even now, maybe after knight bd7, black has some compensation. So
yep.
I don't know how if bishop f4 g5 so it's or queen b6 in some moment. Yeah. So knight d7, so this variation can be continued. So bishop d6 probably not so stupid idea, not take the pawn immediately.
Yeah, and now after bishop f4, even g5 or queen b6 as you
yes. So it's after bishop e2, for example, h5 is possible to consider. So it's interesting.
Yeah, maybe white should play something like this, h3.
I will just take, and if queen takes g7, I have queen h4 check variant.
I mean, just
yes, bishop f4 is possible, but okay, it's black has queen f6 or knight g6. It's playable position.
Playable position, yeah, of course. Okay.
So bishop d6 may be even stronger. Okay, who knows? Okay, I didn't analyze it deeply because I didn't see games. Because mainly after knight f6, white is playing bishop d3, and black is playing knight d7. Okay, so difference can be if immediately knight d7.
Knight d7 in this position, okay?
Yes, if immediately knight d7, probably white has some choice. For example, bishop d3 is very natural move, of course, but white can consider also idea to play bishop e3 instead.
Bishop e3, yeah.
Bishop e3, for example, knight f6, knight bd2, and now in some moments white can consider idea to play bishop c4. Example, if bishop d6, it's possible to consider bishop c4. I don't know how good it is. It's question, maybe not so good, but it's like adding up. another option. Okay, so it's necessary to check e takes d4 probably. If c takes d4, bishop takes c4, knight takes c4, knight takes e4. Probably it's just good for black, but in some variation, white develop bishop on c4. Maybe not in just in this position.
Maybe for our less experienced spectators, we can point out that exchanging white squared bishops is generally good for white because this bishop on d3 is a bit problematic, and also after this exchange, our f3 knight often gets access to the f5 square.
Yes, for example, after bishop d6, if bishop c4 doesn't work immediately, I can consider queen c2 first.
Yes, queen c2, and then
queen c2, and if, for example, castle, bishop c4, exchange bishops, and then long castle probably in some moment. So it's quite fresh ideas. And idea of the knight f6 move order is provoke bishop d3. So,
yes, okay.
Because now white has no bishop e3, it's knight takes e4 is possible, and this is not pleasant for white to give pawn. Hardly it will be enough compensation.
So now we will focus on the main direction, starting with bishop d3, right?
So, yes, bishop d3 and knight d7. And now castle. Also, okay, so usually white mate in castle automatically, but probably there is a reason to consider bishop e3 as well, and then knight bd2, and then probably queen c2 and long castle, or queen e2 and long castle. But for this plan, more reason to utilize this in move order without bishop d3. Because somewhere, as I explained, there is possibility to come to c4 with bishop, or support knight c4 from f1.
Yes.
So bishop d3 usually is connected with long castle, with a short castle. So castle, bishop d6 is main move, and now. And
this is the main position of the
yes, this is the main position. And now, okay, knight g5, it's dubious because white is losing many tempos, and after castle, knight takes f6, f takes e6. Also, black rook f8 became active, and black has planned e takes d4, and after c takes d4, e5 in some moment. So this is hardly can be recommended for white. So after bishop d6, main move is king h1, which Morozevich played against Bareyev. Very flexible move. So black avoid white avoid any tactical ideas with queen b6 in some moment, or with bishop c5, and also important to have g1 square for his bishop. If white will play bishop e3, knight g4 in some moment, it's important to have bishop g1 to go back. So, and in highest level, this move firstly was played in the game between Morozevich and Bareyev. Okay, probably there are other games, but okay, we can consider now Morozevich, Bareyev more